All right, so when you guys are building a strategy, you have two choices in terms of how you approach strategies in crypto. So I would say that if you want to succeed in crypto long term, you either have to follow someone who's already a professional, someone who's already got strategies that you can sort of implement and make money from, or you have to become the pro. Okay? I think it's really just one or the other. Now, the thing that you can't do, right? You can do this one or you can do this one, but the thing that you can't do is stay an amateur. Okay? The word amateur cannot exist in your crypto strategy or edge if you want to make money, right? So you can't follow an amateur, right? So you have to verify who you're following as a pro. If you follow some dude on Twitter who's actually just a glorified gambler, you're not following a professional. You're following a dude who just chucks his money in the casino and sometimes gets lucky and probably makes money from exchange referrals, right? And just getting popular on Twitter. So you need to verify that you're following a pro. Now, the other way that you can make money is obviously become the pro. So you can't just become an amateur. You can't stay an amateur. You have to level up to pro if you want to make money. Okay, so it's either follow or become the pro. You know, two paths. You know, like I say here again, two paths to make money. Follow a pro or become one. Anything outside of this is just going to lead to losing money. And this is why when you get into crypto for the first time, your first market cycle, you tend to not really make much money. It's because during your first market cycle, you're not either of these. You're not really following a pro very closely. And even if you do, you're probably just making mistakes, which I'm going to go over in this video. Or if you are trying to become the pro, you're just not a pro yet. And it takes, 3-4 years to become a professional at crypto because you have to experience the full market cycle, right? The full circle. If you've never experienced, right, if there's a gap and you've never experienced this bit, are you going to know how to not make the mistakes of this part? Well, you've never experienced it before. You have to go through and experience that part. And once you've had the full market cycle, then you can pretty much classify yourself as a pro if you've done everything correctly, okay? So let's go over how each path works. How do you follow the pro, right? Am I saying just copy some dudes on Twitter or, watch YouTube videos and just buy coins that people tell you to buy? No, this is not what I refer to when I'm saying follow the pro. So imagine you're trying to become a really good boxer, right? You're trying to become a professional boxer. Do you try to become a professional boxer by watching YouTube tutorials of boxing? Or is it better that you go into a boxing gym and work alongside a professional boxer who's had many professional fights and won many professional fights, who's there right in front of you training you? It's probably, the second one's probably better. I don't think you're going to become a professional boxer just watching YouTube videos from your bedroom. Okay, you have to, be working much more closely in person, in real life, alongside a pro. Okay, you can obviously get to a certain level in boxing, doing it in your home by yourself, shadow boxing, stretching, any cardio-based workouts. But I think you need to, if you want to become pro, you have to do the full thing. So it's a similar idea with following a pro in investing. When you do boxing and you're on a call with someone, it's never the same. If you are on your phone watching a YouTube video of how to, make money in crypto, it's not the same as working alongside a pro. And I don't mean the guy comes to your fucking house. I mean, like, the guy's, like, giving you a lot of depth and individualized answers to questions, and he's telling you everything about how he makes money. So, for example, on Twitter, there's no guy on Twitter that has an obligation to make sure you understand everything they say. So a lot of the times these guys tweet things, you have no idea what they're saying. And they don't have to reply to you and clarify things. Also, so many people shitpost on Twitter. So how do you know what's a real opinion? How do you know what's a fake opinion? As well as this, everyone on Twitter will tell you when they've bought, they will tell you how much money they've made, but they never tell you when they sell. So if you're trying to follow the pro, he gives you half of it, right, the buying side, but he doesn't give you the selling side. So it's like the most important part he leaves out, right? So you can't just copy a Twitter guy. And also YouTubers, they'll tell you buy these 3 coins. But the coin, as we've gone over, is not important. It's about the process. So the YouTubers actually don't even know how to make money either. You try to follow a guy who you think is a pro telling you what coins to buy, but he doesn't understand that it's not the coin, and neither do you. You both think it's about the coin. That's why you both lose money, because you're both not pros, right? Now, when you do find someone that you would consider a pro on the internet at crypto, as pro as you can get, really, because it is an evolving industry, you want to only follow like 2 maximum, right? If you end up, saying, okay, I'm going to approach this bull run following the calls of 4 influencers, it's not going to work, because one of them's going to say the market tops in, sell here. The other one's going to say the market's going higher, sell here. Which one do you listen to? Well, both of these people could be profitable, because this guy selling too low, maybe he bought way down here and he's in a massive profit. Maybe this guy is trying to be more aggressive because he bought here. So maybe the distance between the buy and the sell region is actually the same, but they just entered and exited at different prices. So maybe you bought when this guy said buy, and now you're going to sell when this guy says sell. They're 2 different guys, 2 different strategies. So if you follow too many people, it gets mixed up and it gets confusing, and it doesn't work. Okay? So in terms of like following people, you should join their community. If they run a mastermind, if they run a paid group, whatever you want to call it, you should join the community that they run, which is the highest level. That is going to get you that personalized approach and access to everything, right? Now, don't be selective with what you follow. This is the big problem a lot of people make. So you'll see a guy make a call to buy a coin, and he'll have really, really big conviction on it. He'll tweet about it all the time, and he'll tell you it's an amazing coin. The problem is the conviction is built during a certain period of that coin cycle, right? When you see a guy tweeting all this conviction that he has in a coin, right? And let's imagine this is the coin's bull run, right? The conviction happens above this level, right? That level of conviction and bullishness and confirmation does not happen here. It happens up here. Most of the time it happens here, near the top. So by the time you see a guy super bullish on a coin, you're thinking to yourself, okay, he likes this coin the most, so I'm going to buy this coin because he thinks it's the best, so I have the highest chance of making money. That's the wrong approach. The more confident someone is, right? Confidence. The higher the coin probably is in price, the closer it is to being a top and the less money that you make. So in actuality, the best coin to buy if you're copying someone's portfolio is probably the one they are most concerned about, because the concern comes in when the coin is underperforming, or when the coin is, for example, in the fear stage of its own cycle, right? So you can't be selective. If you say to yourself, I would just like to follow the strategies of this person, you have to do everything they say. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to not follow him today because I can't be bothered to buy that coin. Or, you know what, I think he might be wrong. No, that's not how you follow the pro. You have to do what they say if you're going to do it. Everything or nothing, okay? I had so many guys in the mastermind not buy Toshi, right? When I said to buy Toshi at $2.5 million market cap, I gave them an entire week to buy. And a lot of them, not everyone, a lot of them bought, but a lot of them didn't buy. And it was because they were being selective, right? And now it's gone up 25x. Now they say to themselves, okay, I'm sorry, Daniel, I will never go against you again. I'll just do what you say. Now they understand. If you're going to follow the pro, you have to do everything they say, because they're profitable and you're not. So anything you do by default is not going to make money. And by default, if you do everything they do, it's going to make money, right? So again, another point, don't copy traders. So maybe you want to become a day trader, a swing trader. You cannot make money long-term copying traders. The only way that you can make money as a trader is to become the pro. It is to become the professional trader. You're not going to piggyback off of someone else's trades and make money. The reason you can't copy traders and make money is there is a level of time sensitivity to entries and exits that if you are not able to completely implement, you will massively underperform. And if you try to copy them, your strategy will probably be inferior. Also, inferior in terms of profit. Also, trading is not really about the strategy, it's more about the emotions, right? When you're trading, a lot of the time you might be using leverage. If you're dumb, you're probably using leverage. The smartest and the dumbest people use leverage, right? That's sort of what generally happens. But let's say you're using leverage, you're trying to day trade, the market's really volatile. The emotions required to be profitable, the lack of emotions, the control of emotions to be profitable is so much higher of a requirement than to be an investor. When you invest, you just copy someone, buy low, do nothing. All you have to do is just not look at the computer screen. But with trading, you have to look at the computer screen, because maybe when you're day trading, this guy you're following enters a position and then he says, oh, I'm closing it 10 minutes later. You have to be there ready to close the position, or you're going to be selling maybe after the price has gone down, right? And you lose money. So when you copy traders, it's very difficult to make money. When you copy investors, very good. Or let's say you airdrop farming. Let's say I told you farm this airdrop right inside the mastermind. I said farm this airdrop, and you said okay, right? Pretty easy for you to follow. There's no emotional management like trading. It's pretty fucking easy. Let's imagine I said, I'm investing into this pre-sale. I think it's good. You should follow it as well. Like pretending like you're a mastermind member. Do this pre-sale. It's super good. Okay. Copy. It's easy. There's no skill there. No skill requirement. You can copy people when there is not a huge skill requirement, right? Investing is pushing it. There is a skill requirement, but trading is just way too hard. Okay. So this is how I would follow the pro. Okay. Get close to your favorite investors. Get into their high-level communities, follow everything they say, don't be selective, and don't copy traders, okay? Now, when I say don't copy tweets, remember we made a video about influencers create liquidity, not alpha, right? All the videos are starting to link back together here at the end of the course. This is why you can't copy Twitter accounts. Now, the other way is obviously become the pro. This is strategy number 2. So long term, I think every single person, well, not every single, but most people should aim to become a independent crypto investor, or they should invest their money into an investment fund. I think that's the two main paths. You either put your money in a fund so someone else manages it for you, or you become the pro. I think that's like the best possible paths that you can take long term, like for your lifetime. So